Today is 21st of May, 4:10, 15 minutes before the market closes. Currently, market trade inside day. It's actually at a neutral level. It is up 1 point at 5046. Now over here, we have a very nice breakout, making a new all-time high, followed by two inside day. This is generally positive. We'd like to look for eventual break above this high here of 5072. Our support is actually at 5,000. This is a psychological level. Now these are mainly dominated by the financial, namely the banks. But overall, this is generally positive. Take a look at the US Nasdaq as a proxy for the US markets. Notice it's very directional, it's very strong, experiencing pullback, and the process close to daylight. This is not unexpected, especially with the recent strengthening of the 10-year Treasury yield. This retracement is actually overdue. Right now, we're experiencing a bounce. The trend remains intact, so it's actually generally positive, particularly for the tech sector. Now, if you take a look at the 10-year Treasury yield, notice we have a strong surge recently, and this is generally negative for equity market mentioned in the previous video, and right now experiencing a pullback. We do expect the trajectory to continue. So certain sectors are weak at this point in time, but right now tech sectors appear to be the one dominating, and in our local context is the tech and the financial. Let's take a look at some of the stock we'll be discussing. Now most of the small cap stock has been already damaged. The chart has been damaged. You probably will need some time to recover. Let's take a look at the tech stock. This is AEM, very strong upward move, followed by a pullback. Now today, it actually staged a breakout. This is a big dipper breakout, slight increase in volume, but currently it's traded along the long-dated doji. This is a sign of uncertainty, slightly to pull back. Now usually after a sharp retracement, we do expect a proper oscillation. And this is quite evident in UMS and Franken. So this is UMS. Notice the retracement is actually much deeper. Notice actually before that the daylight is already very huge and is prone to retracement. So it's likely to actually oscillate sideways. It probably takes some time before it breaks on the upside. This is Franken. Notice the strong reaction on the downside, and in the process it actually penetrated 26 SMA. This is a momentary break, managed to close above that, which is slightly positive. Again, it's likely to actually oscillate, and we're looking for a new base to form and eventually look for a break on the upside. So a lot of patience is now currently required because many of the charts are already damaged. Micromechanics. So you can see a very sharp retracement. Again, this is a weak bound. Notice the volume is also not high. Aztec. Now this stock actually kept up here very nicely, followed by a pullback on low volume and managed to break on the upside. But unfortunately, we have this wide range reversal bar, and this gap here provides some level of support, which was tested 3 days ago, followed by a weak bound. Notice currently it's trading a topping tail. So again, it's more likely will just oscillate. Notice that the 30 SMA is actually pointing downwards. So this is a sign of weakening momentum. Sunrise. Again, same thing, very deep retracements, and this is a weak bound. Perhaps it may even go down further, looking at the price action, recent price action. Venture. After the strong upward move, it kind of fizzled out and retrace. Again, this is a weak bound. More likely will just consolidate. CSC Global. This stock actually has a very nice break on the upside, and they've been trending very nicely. Unfortunately, over here we have an extension bar on the downside on increased volume. It kind of damaged the charts. It is a consolation. It managed to actually hold above the 26 SMA. Again, it more likely will just consolidate sideways. We probably have to give it some time. One of the stock we have been discussing for a while is actually oil tech, and you can see the significant weakness. Notice this actually breakout fail, and currently is trading below 1326 SMA. So the bet is actually off at this moment. We'll just have to patiently watch to see what happens over the next few weeks. Looking at the price action right now, it's not likely to perform. Bengquan, this stock held up better, but unfortunately, the chart is also somewhat damaged. Again, we just have to observe this what happened. So far, the retracement, you notice, though it's quite deep, but the volume is actually quite low. So it does indicate an overreactions. Generally, investors and traders are nervous. Bostic. Again, tested the 26 SMA followed by a bounce here. The volume is actually quite low. Again, we just have to observe. This has been a very directional move. Unfortunately, recent general market weakness has resulted in retracement. Hong Leong Asia. This stock has a very nice run, managed to take out this resistance, but you notice actually trading below this level. Now, generally, we want the stock to actually hold above a breakout level. The fact that it's trading below, it probably will take some time before it perform again. Now, one of the interesting stocks is actually Pan United. This stock actually held up very well when the market was very weak and managed to break on the upside. Now, after a period of run, it kind of consolidated. So this is what we have seen. But a couple of days back, there was a strong move, but unfortunately, it fizzled out. It pulled back on low volume. But you can see the crossing of the moving average. So this is really a consolidation pattern. Very much something like this. And we'd like to see what happens. It may well form a base. Now, if we can recover from here, that will be generally positive, and we like to look for eventually break on the upside, particularly this anchor bar here, above the high here, 173. Now, one of the stocks actually head up better is actually Dongwon. After breaking this resistance, it kind of pulled back and managed to hold above this resistance, which is now a support. Notice actually last few sections it was just trading sideways. Again, if you can break on the upside, that will be very strong. We just have to actually monitor. OKP. Now there was an attempt at this resistance today. If you notice here, there was this attempt and it kind of was not able to actually hold and retrace for being a topping tail. Again, we just have to observe. If we can trade sideways, that will be generally positive. Comparatively, this is much stronger than many other stocks because it managed to hold above the 1326 SMA. It's just that we have this overhead resistance to contend with. So if we can trade small bar, that will be good and like to see a break on the upside.